Most founders believe the deal is won or lost when they show the price. In reality, the decision was already made 10 minutes earlier. Let me explain what actually happens inside a buyer's mind during a B2B conversation. It doesn't. The pricing conversation starts much earlier. It starts the moment the buyer forms their first impression of you. The way you open the meeting, the questions you ask, how clearly you describe the problem, the level of confidence you project. By the time the number comes up, the buyer has already made a psychological decision. The number only does one of two things. It either confirms the decision they already made, or it contradicts it. And when it contradicts it, the deal suddenly becomes too expensive. Now, here is something that decades of behavioral economics research consistently show. People do not make business decisions based on logic and then justify them emotionally. They make them emotionally and then justify them logically. The spreadsheet comes later. The feeling comes first. And that feeling usually comes from three things: trust, confidence, and the sense that this person understands my situation better than anyone else I have spoken to. That emotional signal is built or destroyed long before the price is mentioned. So what actually moves a B2B buyer psychologically? The first thing is certainty reduction. Every B2B buyer carries a specific fear. It is rarely, is this product good enough? The real fear is more personal. If this fails, will I look bad? Will my team lose confidence in me? Did I just waste 3 months evaluating the wrong solution? The buyer is not just evaluating your product. They are evaluating the risk of being wrong. And your job, before you talk about price and before you talk about features, is to reduce that fear. Case studies do this. References do this. Demonstrating a deep understanding of their specific situation does this. When a buyer feels understood, they feel safer. And when they feel safer, price becomes far less threatening. The second driver is something called loss framing. Behavioral economics has shown that the pain of losing something feels roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something, which means that telling a buyer what they will gain from your product is only half as powerful as showing them what they are already losing without it. Most founders lead with gains. You will save time. You will increase revenue. You will improve efficiency. But the stronger conversation starts somewhere else. Right now, without this solution, here is what is happening inside your organization every single week. Here is where time is being lost. Here is where deals are slipping. Here is where the team is compensating for a broken process. When buyers clearly see the cost of doing nothing, the entire conversation changes. The third driver is social proof, but not the way most founders use it. Many founders say something like, "We work with company X and company Y." That is weak social proof. Strong social proof is specific and situational. For example, "We recently worked with a company at almost exactly your stage, same team size, same sales challenge, and here's what changed for them in the first 90 days. The buyer is not asking, "Do other companies use this?" The buyer is asking, "Does this work for someone like me, in a situation like mine, right now?" The closer your proof mirrors their reality, the more powerful it becomes. The fourth driver, and one that often surprises founders, is the quality of your questions. Not your answers, your questions. When a founder asks a brilliant question that surfaces a problem the buyer has not fully articulated yet, something shifts in the room. The buyer suddenly thinks, "This person sees something I have not seen." That moment of insight, delivered through a question, creates more trust than any pitch ever could, because it proves expertise without claiming it. And in B2B sales, demonstrated expertise is the strongest trust signal there is. So what does all of this mean in practice? Before you talk about price in any serious sales conversation, make sure 4 things have already happened. First, reduce the buyer's fear of being wrong by showing proof that is specific to their situation. Second, make the cost of inaction visible so they clearly understand what the current problem is already costing them. Third, use social proof that mirrors their reality. Not logos, but real stories. And fourth, ask at least one question that makes them see their own situation differently. When those four things happen, price rarely becomes the real issue. Because at that point, the buyer is no longer asking, is this worth the money? They are asking something very different. How do we get started? That shift from price negotiation to implementation conversation is one of the most important turning points in B2B sales. And if your deals consistently stall at the pricing stage, the problem is almost never the number itself. The real issue is usually what happened earlier in the conversation. And helping founders build those conversations properly is exactly the kind of work we do at Match B2B.